In 2022, we spent about $800 million. We bought Casuarina Square up here, which is the largest single shopping centre holding since, I think, like 2010.
Yep.
And then we bought Caneland Shopping Centre in Mackay, which is a similar size shopping centre to Casuarina Square. So we bought those off the institutional owners when they were nervous and thought that retail was coming to an end, that online was going to be it was going to be the be-all and end-all, which I just was not a believer in.
Okay.
And I'm still not a believer in it.
Right.
It has a.
It's changing though, isn't it?
Well,
but it's
it has a niche, but if you have a look at and analyse online shopping, it isn't cheaper.
Okay.
Most of the things you see online, you can actually buy it cheaper in a shop.
Is that right?
What it has is convenience. Now, you can get it delivered to home. So if you're in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, you can get it delivered the next day. I was actually in Vale skiing in January, and I bought a watch online. I bought it in the afternoon. It actually was delivered the next morning before lunchtime in Vale. And come to the other side of America, you think, holy bloody hell. Anyway, the further you get away from the capital cities, you then don't have that convenience.
Yep.
If you order something online in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, you can get it probably the next day or the day after. You do it up here and you're a week. So if there's no price advantage and then there's no convenience to it, then what does it have? It doesn't have anything.
Yep.
And then while online boomed during the GFC, of course it has to boom when people can't leave home. How else are they going to get what they bloody want? Excuse me. So, but what it did is it got a lot of people to realise they don't like online shopping. Something turns up, it's the wrong colour. It's the wrong size.
It doesn't fit, yeah.
It wasn't the quality that I thought. And, you know, and a lot of the online companies actually don't make money because they have to do the free return and all that other stuff. So it's there's actually a lot of holes in it.
Yep.
And just a few years ago, Amazon closed one of their centres in Brooklyn, which was their last mile outlets. They closed that because it wasn't. Yeah, a lot of them, they just expanded too much during COVID.
Right.
And they thought the boom was going to keep going, and it didn't. Now, as I say, there's certainly a market for it, but you know, years ago they used to have, you know, the people in the rural areas would have, there'd be magazines come and they would shop online, but it would arrive by post.
Yep.
When I was a kid, they used to have, you know, comics, and you could buy sea monkeys and bloody bullworkers and all these.
Yep.
So there's always been a certain amount of shopping where you didn't have to go into the supermarkets or stores.
Yep.
It has changed, but people like to go comparison shopping, and when you get into these northern areas, you know, I've been to 104 countries, done every country in Asia. And when you go through a lot of those Asian countries, you would see the Asians. You think, why are they shopping all the bloody time? What's wrong with them?
Yeah, well, that amazed me about Singapore, was that.
Well, when you start doing due diligence on a shopping centre like Casuarina Square,
Yep.
and when it's 35 degrees on a Saturday morning and 90% humidity, you don't go for a jog. You don't go to play golf.
Yep.
You don't go down the beach. What do? You go to the shopping centre. And you're there most of the day. So you've got to have a big shopping centre. You can't, it's no good just going to a Woolies with half a dozen specialties. You need where you can go and have breakfast. You can then have a lunch with someone. You can do a bit of shopping. You can go to the movies. You can spend the day there. So then you realise in Asia it's so hot, and a lot of them live in units, small units. So what do? So they go to the shopping centre.
Right.
So when you start to see that, it's really a social thing, and particularly in the warmer areas, that's why the shopping centres go much better.
Yep.
And also because they're further from the capital cities, you don't have the convenience with the online and all that. So it's a different psyche. It's completely different. But
Yep.
it's one of the reasons why we're very long in retail in Northern Australia.